Linux and Windows are two popular operating systems used by millions of people around the world. While they share some similarities, there are also significant differences between the two. One of the most notable differences between Linux and Windows is their underlying architecture. Linux is an open-source operating system, meaning that its source code is freely available to anyone who wants to modify or redistribute it. Windows, on the other hand, is a proprietary operating system developed by Microsoft. Another key difference is their user interface. Windows typically has a more polished and user-friendly interface, while Linux is known for being more customizable and flexible. Linux also has a greater variety of graphical interfaces available, including GNOME, KDE, and XFCE, among others. In terms of security, Linux is generally considered to be more secure than Windows. This is partly because Linux is open source, allowing developers to quickly identify and fix security vulnerabilities. Additionally, Linux has a smaller market share than Windows, which makes it less of a target for hackers and cybercriminals. When it comes to software, Windows has a much larger selection of commercial software available, such as Microsoft Office and Adobe Photoshop. However, Linux has a large and growing selection of open-source software that can often be just as powerful as their commercial counterparts. One significant difference between Linux and Windows is the way software is installed and managed. Windows uses an executable installer file to install software, while Linux typically uses a package manager to install and manage software. This means that software installation and updates on Linux are often faster and more efficient than on Windows. Finally, there is the issue of cost. Linux is typically free and open source, while Windows requires a license fee to use. This makes Linux a more attractive option for individuals and organizations looking to save money on software. In conclusion, while both Linux and Windows have their strengths and weaknesses, the choice between the two ultimately comes down to individual needs and preferences. Those who prioritize ease of use and a large selection of commercial software may prefer Windows, while those who value flexibility, customization, and security may prefer Linux.